Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. Tate, it's that time of the year we love. It's playoff time. And don't forget, we got the state cross-country meet this week too, so I'm excited about that on Thursday and Friday in Hendersonville.
No doubt about it, and it's a beautiful week. The weather's going to cooperate. We've still got some warm fall weather out there, but the most bittersweet time of the year. The regular season is over, very bitter. The playoffs have started,
Sweet.
Very sweet. And it was a good win in East Tennessee. A good night in East Tennessee this weekend. The Vols went dark mode and have got that win streak back on the way it's supposed to look like another win over the Wildcats. But a really, really hard fought. Kentucky competed well. Stoops did a great job as always. But anyways, always good to come in here and do this after a nice win on Rocky Top.
Listen, it's next man up.
Next man up.
It's no excuses. The Cats had 12 starters, I think, by the time the game got going out. So you beat the JV team.
That's the walking wounded for sure. But,
nice JV win.
well, it's JV from the SEC though, so that's nice.
True. It's true. That's true.
Things could be worse.
They could be worse.
And cross-country meet.
I was going to say congratulations, but I'm not doing that.
I don't blame you. Cross-country meet. Very excited. Think we're gonna be talking about some big things here in a week.
I think so too. Can't wait for that, and I'm really excited about the playoffs starting. So let's do this. Final week of the regular season. We're going to go not too quick. We're going to give it its coverage, but we're going to go because we got to do our playoff
Yes, sir.
picks. All right, let's start with the Battle of the Woods. Or
Wood.
depending. Ravenwood, 21-3 winner over Brentwood. It was a total flip from last year. Ravenwood finishes the season as region champions. It was Brentwood last year. Undefeated. That was Brentwood last year. Number one in the state rankings. Don't think Brentwood was one. I think it was Oakland. But Ravenwood's number one in the rankings. It was a great atmosphere. Game day was in the house. We had birds of prey flying everywhere. And the Nest, the student section, they stepped it up. I called them out.
Yeah.
Listen, I called them out. You stepped up.
Sometimes a good coach has to do that.
Well, I kind of went, I'm more of a encouraging kind of fire you up. I had to go Bobby Knight mode on a little bit. I will say this too. I don't know if you noticed this. Our man, Luke Campbell, I believe he's in charge of the highlight video. I noticed that during the game, they played like a little segment about, people say we're going to lose 3 games and all this kind of stuff. And then there was a little segment for me on Sports Connection say they're obviously the best team. That was last year.
I heard that.
I'm like,
they played it over the last
yeah, like I said that this year. I said 15-0.
Amen.
I'm like,
whatever it takes. Motivational.
Creative editing. I'm like,
locker bulletin board material.
Anyway, so they did that to me like I sort of did to them. But man, was it a great atmosphere.
It was great atmosphere.
It was incredible.
Not just the Nest, but we'll come back to that. Everything about it was a great atmosphere. As always, John Shane did such a great job.
Incredible.
Helping everybody out there. Mr. Appleton was very instrumental in all that as well. Met another loyal viewer to the show, Austin Mayfield, who, by the way, has been all year long, but he was lights out flying around the football Friday night. His father, Jeff, big fan of Sports Connection, so it was a pleasure to meet him. He told me to pass that along to you. Very excited about that. So everything about it was awesome, but the Nest brought it. You called him out. You were honest, and it was the truth.
It's the truth.
It was the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but sometimes you got to hear the truth to get better if that's what you want to be. They responded. They are now back number one, in my opinion. I don't know if you're willing to say that. I am. That was the best game day we've had in a while for a lot of reasons, but the main reason, the Nest was on fire.
On fire. So I've been in this role 6 years. Here's what I'm going to say. The best game days, if I had to list the top 4 or 5, Ravenwood from last week. There's been a couple Nolansvilles, a Page or two.
Yeah.
1 or 2 from Page. And then Franklin had a great one too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely up there.
Those are mine too.
It's the size of the crowd, to me, is what really made it special there at Ravenwood. I also wanted to mention another booster parent, Kevin Gibson. And then I think I told you this Friday. Ben Hubbard, his dad, came up, introduced himself, said, "Hey, I watched the show." He said, "Tate didn't pick us."
I did this week.
He was upset. Against Oakland. We appreciate everybody for watching.
Love it. Hey, that's part of it. That's part of it. And by the way, another big night on Friday night. But I think we can say this now. I don't think Creed will get mad at me. Let's just say Mr. Hubbard hasn't been 100%. I don't think many people knew that because he's tough and we don't make excuses. He's had his best 2 weeks of the season last against Oakland and Brentwood, and a big part of that is he's finally healthy. And when he's healthy, pretty scary.
Did want to mention this last thing about game day. Dr. Qualls couldn't be there, which I know he was upset, but he had a family situation he had to deal with. Everything's fine on the family front, but he couldn't be there. But we had Van Jefferson, Ravenwood great, Bill Whittemore, your all-time favorite QB.
Billy the Kid.
Well, really, all-time favorite. You even said over your own kids.
My favorite high school football player ever. And he had a great college career. I'm not saying that, but he was the most exciting high school football player I've ever watched.
They did a good job.
They did a great job, man. It was really cool to see them back, and it's just neat, man. Bill played at Kansas, Big 12 newcomer of the year, won a bowl game, played in another one. Van Jefferson's a Super Bowl champion, and here he is up there with the terrible towels in Pittsburgh, man, and they both spoke about. I don't know. They both said they wish they could come back and play high school football again. They'd love to relive it again.
It's pure.
It's pure, man. Friday Night Lights, and again, that's coming from a guy with a Super Bowl ring. So pretty cool. And it's just awesome. What great role models, right? Just good dudes, man. You can be a great football player, a tough football player, and still be a good man. You know what I'm saying?
They're
I
great.
love it. It was great. To see.
First time I'd met Van.
Yeah, great.
Obviously, I know Billy Whittemore.
By the way, you brought it up. We'll go. This may be another time. You brought up multi-sport athletes. They were.
Yes.
Van played 3. Bill played 3 for most of it, and then 2. It didn't hurt them not specializing.
Didn't hurt them at all. Hey, that Ravenwood team that goes undefeated, they joined that 2014 team that Van was on that went undefeated, but they'd lost to Maryville in the state championship game. Then the next year they avenged that loss, but they had a loss during the regular season to Centennial. So they've got a chance to do something that a Ravenwood team hadn't done, which is take it all the way and go 15-0, which I think is going to happen. Now, real quickly, Brentwood gets on the board late in the first quarter. They get a 27-yard field goal, but then Ravenwood responds into the first through the second quarter. Maverick chance to Donovan Starr, 55-yard touchdown. Femi Babalola to Max Kemple, touchdown. Then chance to Ben Hubbard. Great catch by Hubbard to take a 21-3 lead. It stayed that way the rest of the time. Ravenwood. Brentwood, too. Brentwood's got a quality team. But Ravenwood, it's going to take a lot to derail them.
I agree, and we talked about it, 2 of the better defenses in the state, and that was the way it kind of played out in the second half. But Brentwood came out, and they're going to be a handful. Brentwood came out, had a really nice drive, the very first drive, and then that didn't end the way they wanted it to. But I think a big part of that is of no more scoring after the first half, is Brentwood's defense is really good. I mean, you look at that Donovan Starr touchdown. That wasn't a 55-yard go route. Hit him over the middle, and then Donovan's the fastest guy in the state. Got loose. They didn't. A couple of the safeties in the corner didn't have great angles on him. If that's anybody else, maybe other than Hubbard, if that's anybody else, they probably get him down. And that's not a 55-yard touchdown. That just, you can't leave that guy that fast open. So anyways, what I'm saying is it's not like they went down there and just hammered that defense. Defense played really, really well. So, and then pretty neat to see, again, last week it was Femi with 3 touchdowns. This week it's Maverick with 2 touchdowns, And I remember at the beginning of the season, there were some people saying, you got to have a quarterback. If you don't have a starting quarterback, you have no quarterbacks. That's not the truth. They've done a great job with this year. And I think it's a weapon.
I think as much as anything, it's the attitude of the 2 QBs.
No doubt.
They're like, whatever. We're trying to win here. And
right.
it's It's pretty neat to watch. All right,
Down in the first half, that goal line stand, that play Jalen Pollard made, huge play. I don't think Brentwood could have scored enough to win, but that could have changed the game a little bit. Yep.
You never know from a confidence standpoint what that does for both teams. Our next matchup, the WCTV game of the week, the border battle. It's for the final playoff spot in Region 6A. Independence at home comes out on top 30-12. I think we thought it could go either way, but 30-12 was sort of a surprise to me. But give it to Coach Stidham and that team, because Summit was really trending in the right direction, getting healthy. Man, Independence stepped up.
That's a huge win. They've now won 3 of their last 4 games, and that was a big win. I think a lot of people, including us, were picking Summit to win. And I got to talk to Coach Stidham before the game on Friday, and that guy's as humble as it is. So there was no arrogance to it, but he felt really good about the game plan and where his kids were, and he felt like they were going to go in there and win. He obviously knew what he was talking about. They did. They took really good care of the ball and then made the big plays when they needed to. Kicking game, defense was a big part of it. So that's a huge win for them, man. And over, like you said, a Summit team that was trending up. I think a lot of people thought that game would probably be close, but even the ones that picked Indy, I don't think they saw them winning 30-12.
No doubt.
And real quick, I know we got to go, but the highlight of my week, another very fine WCS gentleman, John Katina of the Katinas, saw him at the UT game. We talked, said he loves Sports Connection. Man, that was pretty awesome. We're going to go watch them at some point. Anyways, Blaze, he was laughing at how we talk about there's been 87 Katinas go through Wilco. He said Blaze, actually there's not that many, but Blaze is the latest. So Steele up at UT, and then Jet and Blaze. John Katina watches the show. Hey, man, that's pretty tall company right there.
Hey, a
man.
great family too.
Great family and great group.
Always with positive attitudes, fun to talk to. Hey, this was courtesy of the Williamson Herald. I thought this was pretty good.
Really good.
This week's gem. 14 straight playoff appearances for Independence. That's impressive. Did you know it was that many?
No.
14 straight? That says something, man.
Is the school 20 years old? I don't think it is. I'd love to know.
What was the year?
It's not 20.
Ish.
It's close.
Ish.
Yeah, that's real strong.
Yeah.
Real strong.
14. Impressive. They kept it going. What if they knew it beforehand?
Somebody did.
Well, obviously somebody at the Herald.
That's Joe. That's probably Joe Williams.
Let's go through the scoring a little bit. So Summit jumps out to a 6-0 lead. Dylan Pierce gets a touchdown. But then Independence 23 straight. And like they're going to do, listen to these stats. Austin Oaks, 68 yards rushing, a touchdown. QB1, Matthew Horner, 45 yards rushing, a touchdown. Eli Bauman, Hunter Mullen, rushing touchdowns. And how about the WCTV play of the week, Mr. Mathews?
Yeah, you talked about it, Clark. Summit was on the move in the first half. It could not, it just felt like this thing was going to get out of hand. And Independence right here has got a tremendous shot to just continue to put the pressure on.
Blocked! Oh,
they got it! Wow!
That was blocked into Murray County, Coach. That was way out there. Woo! Goodness gracious.
We've talked about the high snaps, and they've
exactly right.
Looks like number 19 maybe got a piece of it, or didn't get a piece of it. That was about as...
He didn't get a piece. He got the whole ball.
Well, and that was a big part of it, talking about it. The snap was a little bit high, right? But obviously they still had some guys going after that. That was not a punt safe type call for Coach Stidham anyways. Looked like they were already coming, or not fire selling it, but, going to have a few coming. High snap, they were ready to block it. They were able to block it and got the safety there, and that really kind of kick-started everything going. They pinned him down there again and got great field position again. So the kicking game, really was the thing that got that thing jump-started, that safety, and then, again, pinning them down there to get the touchdown. So 23 points. They scored the next 23 points. In a game like that, it's over. So very cool.
Well, we talk special teams a lot. It makes the difference, and that it got it going.
Yep.
Hey, final game for and several guys, but Mason McElhaney did a great job for him, fought off some injuries this year. Again, Coach Coleman's team, the way they hung in there, kept battling. It's why you and I thought they would win last week, but give it up to Independence too. All right, here we go. Page, man, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Let's not act like Nolensville can't play football. 42-0 win on the road. That was 2 undefeated region opponents. We're not talking about teams that can't play. Page, like Ravenwood, regular season, undefeated, region champion, #1 in the state. They've got it all going. 28-0 lead early in the second quarter. They had 4 rushing touchdowns during that time, 2 by the freshman, Isaac Odie, and then Grand Jean runs and passes for a touchdown. They're scary too. Not for us, but the opponents.
Real scary. Yeah, to beat Nolensville like that, first of all, no emails. We brought it out last week. Again, if you want a copy, email jeremy.qualls@wcs.edu. No Wilco on Wilco crime, so no boat captain hat. Here's what was scary about it to me. I never in a million years would have picked 42-0, and it could have been worse. Five different Patriot players scored touchdowns.
Man.
They've got so many weapons. We talked about last week about how Grand Jean just keeps getting more and more comfortable in that quarterback role for the starting as the starting quarterback for the Patriots. To beat Nolensville 42-0, that's just a dominant win.
It is.
You got to see them twice. That can't be good for the psyche.
No.
For round 2.
No. I think it's terrible. People. I go back to the old, my man, Mr. Cardwell, who I love. Great principal there at Beach High School.
Legend.
Former athlete himself, former coach. He's one that got me started on that can't beat somebody 3 times or 4 times or whatever we say in basketball. He gave me the old, hey, if you and I are getting a little knuckle buster, and I kick your butt once or twice, do you really think you're going to kick mine the 3rd time?
Don't even want it.
I love that, especially a sport like football that's so physical in nature when you're getting beat up. They are, don't kid yourselves, that's a 6A football team really in terms of their size and depth, and they're something, man. They're going to be hard to beat.
And defensively, they played obviously really well too.
Page Beach semifinal at Beach. The winner is going to win the whole thing.
I agree. Beach goes through Southwind first, right?
They'll be.
No. Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Beach versus Page.
That's going to be a slobber knocker.
Be great. Centennial, 38-9 win over Hillsborough. They're kind of laying in the weeds a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So don't count Centennial out. They'll get the number 3 seed in Region 5A. Finished the regular season 6-4, 3-2 in the league. 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Riley Turner, 4 touchdown passes, all to the same family. 3 to Kenai, 1 to Gavin Johnson.
Not bad.
Mikey Pimentel ran back a blocked punt for a touchdown. I always talk about this with Coach Stewart. He said, let's just get in. They're going to get in. They're going to take care of week 1 and then make Page have to beat them in week 2.
That's all you can ask for is another shot with them, right?
That's all you can ask.
Played really, really well. 1 point away from Boat Race City. Dang, would have loved to have been able to do that. But, yeah, they played really well. And Carlos had over 100 yards rushing, so it was a good night for the Cougars for sure.
Fairview, they go on the road, lose a tough one to White House Heritage 21-14. The way I had it figured, though, they were going to be 3rd no matter what.
I think so.
Unless Sycamore would have been up, but they weren't going to lose. They get the number 3 seed heading to the playoffs. Javante Hewitt, 92 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Franklin, 48-13 over Overton. Franklin heads to the playoffs as the number 3 seed. Again, we mentioned this last week. They go 5-5 in the regular season. They led 42-0 at the half.
Brewer had
Overton,
4 touchdowns. He had 2 to Luke Thompson, 2 to, I believe, Lucas Young. That one, I saw where somebody broke the all-time passing record touchdowns in TSAA over the weekend. Now, that game at least was close. I think it looked like it by the score. But, man, I mean, he probably could have thrown 8 touchdowns in that game.
Right.
But Coach Atkins, one, you don't want to – one, it's not the right thing to do, I don't think. Do you?
No.
Yeah, okay. 2, you can get your guy hurt. But anyways, that's – when I see that, that kind of – now, and maybe that was just the way that game went. I hope it is. But he was well on pace for 8 touchdowns that game.
Agreed.
I think they're scary.
And second round was Ravenwood.
Franklin's scary.
That could be a good second round battle. All right, let's do this real quick because we talked about cross country, state championship this week, but let's talk about how we got there. Region championship, AAA, Brentwood girls, Coach Patinas and his squad, 7th straight title. Nolensville boys.
Didn't see that one coming.
Coach Demetra doing a good job there. They won the boys championship. So on the girls' side, Brentwood 33 points again, low score is what you want. All 7 runners in the top 18. Lydia Cromwell, Lauren Vanavac, Abby Cobb, all 4 through 7. So none of them in the top 3, but it's that total. You always talk about that with track and field. Death by 1,000 cuts.
That's right.
That's what they do. Nolensville girls, 79 points were second. 46 place difference. Again, back to
how much does number 1? How many points is number 1?
Say it again.
How many points do you get for the number 1
Right,
runner?
you get 1. You want low score.
Oh, that's right. You want low score. That's
Low
right.
score,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. So
Low score. That's right. And they got a 1.
they got a 1.
And then 78 from the rest. Again, nothing. They finished second. Great. Paige third. Claire Stegall won the individual championship. She's well on her way to a state title. I like this now. Summit had second and third.
Strong.
Lorelei Witten, Sienna Anderson. How about the boys' side there, Tate?
Well, Nolensville, as you mentioned, got the win with the lowest point total. Thank you for the reminder on that. But with 57 points, and hey, not only did they, I think a lot of people thought Brentwood was the favorite going into that. Not only did they beat them by 10 points.
They did, and Brentwood's guys were running.
They were running. Well, yeah,
It wasn't like they were like, we're going to hold off to the state. No.
No, not in the region championship. So Nolensville was 57, Brentwood was second with 67, and then Page came in third. Nolensville had a 9th place, 10th place, 11th place finishes with Max Massey, Jack Glisson-Schlitt, and Avery Manternack. Asher Oates of Independence was the individual champion. No surprise
Good for
there.
him. Region runner-up last year.
Yep, good for him. And Callahan Fielder of Brentwood was second. Michael Ishin of Centennial was third. So we got 3 schools represented right there. A lot of parity up at the top. But I think it's going to come down to Nolensville and Brentwood again, don't you? On the boys' side. The girls' side's done. I mean, it's just done.
Done. Barring a virus of some kind. Hope it doesn't happen.
I don't even know if that can knock them out.
Yeah. Just watch what you eat. Don't eat out.
Don't order any pizzas late at night like up in Boston and
Get the fresh
MJ.
food. Hey, AAA. This is worth mentioning. Ryan Pett, Jessica Edwards, the head coaches. Fairview wins the girls and boys region championship. Andy Laron won the girls championship. Reese Laron was second. Keep it in the family. Allie Ellis third. Emma Escalante was fourth. They had something like 24 points. And on the boys' side, it's 23 or 4.
Yeah.
Dominated. 5 of the boys placed in the top 10. Carter Split-Gerber was runner-up. William Edwards, Aiden Ellis, Jaden Bowman, all in the top 5. Again, we'll have the state championship this week. We're going to have lots of good stuff to talk about.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Good luck, young ladies and young men.
Hey, let's talk about this, Tate. It's not over yet. The regular season's over, but we go through, it's kind of like the Wilco Awards. We take this thing all the way to the end. It's not a regular season award. It's a full season
I agree.
award.
And I
You better
agree
agree.
and appreciate it. Yeah. Jeez.
So we're going to talk about pick'ems. Last week, Dr. Qualls, the fans, and I all went 5-1. Mr. Mathews, you went 4-2. So our results now at the top, Dr. Qualls and I are 57-11, but right behind us, 56-12, Mr. Mathews and the fans.
on,
you're
fans.
knocking on the door. Hey, and by the way, fans, keep going to WCS CO Athletics on X to participate. Tate, let's jump right into our picks. So here's what we're going to do. Like we always, we're going to have our picks. Then we're going to get the brackets out.
I like it. I'm in.
Really, and nothing you say on the brackets, I mean, you can still change your picks during the week. We're just going to get your knowledge, so to speak, of the brackets we're in, the 3A, 5A, and 6A brackets.
I think there's some upsets.
All right, here we go. Week 1, I'll pick first. This was tough. Ravenwood hosting Cane Ridge. I believe that was 48-0 in about week 2 or 3, and I think that was the score at the half. Boat Race City, Ravenwood rolls. Let's keep everybody healthy. Cane Ridge will be packing the stuff up about an hour and 15 minutes after that game starts.
For the sake of time, Ravenwood.
All right, Tate, you're up. 8-2. Brentwood is the number 2 seed. They will host Smyrna, the number 3 seed, at 5-5. Who you got in that one?
Always have a lot of respect for the Smyrna Bulldogs and Coach Matt Williams, but I don't think they have enough firepower. I love the Brentwood defense, the Brentwood Bruins.
Brew wins.
Brew wins.
I'm going with it.
Yep.
Next game. This is my pick. I think this isn't an easy one.
If you think it is, you're wrong.
Franklin, 5-5, 3-2 on the season at number 2 Antioch, 6-4, 4-1. A lot of people thought they were going to win that region. They didn't. They had a nice one with Nolensville early in the season. They got like a 36-33 win. Franklin's hungry. They want to play Ravenwood again. I'm going with the Admirals. What say you, Mr. Mathews?
I think that's a good pick. It's not an easy one. Antioch they can score points. They can score points. They are scary. But I'm with you. I think Franklin's better. I think they're hungry. I think they're playing with an edge. And I just don't think – I think Franklin has a better chance of stopping Antioch's offense. Antioch can't – I've seen them play. They can't stop Franklin's offense. The Admirals.
They roll. Not roll, but they're going to win.
Yep, they win. They win double digits.
Next pick. This is yours, by the way. Number 4 Independence, 3-7. Going to Stewart's Creek, 9-1. So it basically comes down to this. Do we get the sweep or do they win 1 out of 4? Who you got in this one, Mr.
Well, I hate to go against Coach Stidham because I believe in him and I know he's going to have a great game plan. He stayed home this weekend and was working on it. And I'm so proud of them for how they ended the season, finished the season up, but I just don't. Stewart's Creek, they're not Ravenwood, but they're pretty good. So I'm going to go with Stewart's Creek. I hope I'm wrong. Plus, I'm down 1 game. I really need 2 to get up. I'm going to go with the Red Hawks.
Well, you're still going to be down 1 game to me no matter what because I'm also picking Stewart's Creek. But it's a fourth quarter game. I really believe that. I think style of play for Independence, let's face it would be an upset if they won. I think they've got a shot again. I hope we're wrong.
Yeah, I'd love to be wrong, especially now that we both picked them because now.
Yeah, I mean, what's it matter?
We'll be
Dr.
even.
Qualls might pick Indy.
He should.
You should pick Indy. And if he does, it's over if they win.
Over.
Yeah,
I don't know. We got a few more weeks.
My pick. Paige. Oh, don't give me that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, correct. Yes.
10-0.
This isn't even worth talking about.
5-0 versus Columbia Central, 6-4, 3-3. Paige rolls. They roll by more than 40. All the backups will be playing pretty early, kind of like the Ravenwood game.
I'm going to, for these next few, I'm just going to pick like Eli did our Bring the Juice winner at game day. Patriots!
He brought the juice. He was actually great. So it's been some of the best part of game days of some of those students doing the picks.
He was hilarious.
When he picked Heritage, it was hilarious.
You looked at me and you said, what did he say?
You had an interpreter. You were the interpreter down there. Okay.
For clarification, I'm picking Paige.
Yeah, I know.
Gotcha.
You said Patriots. Okay, your pick. Nolensville. I think this is a tough pick.
Gosh, it's a tough pick.
6-4, 4-1. They're the number 2 seed. They host Tullahoma, 6-4, 4-2. And remember, last year, roles were reversed. Nolensville went on the road. They had a ton of injuries. Tullahoma wins that matchup 10-0 last year.
They did.
Who you got in this one?
And I don't. Who knows where Nolensville is after that where their mindset is after Friday, man. That's that's being shell shocked. There's only two good things that ever came out of Tullahoma, okay, and that's the Sun Drop Cafe and our man Steve Mathews, who was a great quarterback there, who's no longer there anymore. I just can't do it. I think last year I don't believe in it. I think last year was because they were beat up. I think Nolensville gets the win. Coach Derrick and the Knights get the win, but I think it's tough.
I agree on both of those, and I think the difference, home field. Nolensville students will be there with a great atmosphere. Nolensville.
And Jack Never Say Dever wants to play at least one more week.
Nolensville.
Yep,
I agree.
No long.
Centennial, here's another tough one. 6-4, 3-2 overall, 3 seeds, so they go on the road to Lincoln County, 7 and Lincoln's County. But you look at their schedule a little bit. It's not real good.
This ain't Louis Thompson's Lincoln County. Although they got a Mr. Football candidate in Brett Dobbs, great player.
They do. Doesn't matter. Timmy Johnson's not walking through that door.
No.
Centennial, I think it's a close one. They go on the road. They get another shot at Page. I'm going with Jamal Stewart and Centennial.
Not an easy place to play on the road, but I agree. Strength of schedule is nowhere close. They do need to find out how to stop Dobbs. I think Coach Stewart and his staff will. The Cougars get the win.
So I thought there's about 4 that could be, we could go either way. Here's the 4th one. We've been the same so far. Fairview, 4-6, 2-2 in the league at Liberty Creek. They're 4-6, 2-1 in the league. They played Stratford twice, like Republic. You know that whatever happened there, but
ended up having to play on Monday. Yeah, it was
somewhere. So.
And by the way, how many? I'm all for kids, man. Everybody knows that. How many years in a row are we going to let that happen?
Well, apparently, if you.
Good grief, man! Like they can't field a team. Go play 8-man football.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Louise.
Now, these teams played in the second round last year at Fairview and Liberty Creek.
Liberty Creek was better last year.
That they rolled. So, okay, so this leads us to our pick. And I'm going to pick what I'm going to pick, by the way. Whatever. I'm
just telling you that this is not the same Liberty Creek team.
I understand.
Yeah, okay.
Fairview at Liberty Creek. What do you say on this one, Tate?
They're not the same Liberty Creek team from last year. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't think Fairview's quite as good as they were last year. So I think, unfortunately, I think this is a bad matchup for the Yellow Jackets. And I'm going to go with the Wolves of Liberty Creek and H. Light.
You're going to have your chance to tie me. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
I think it's
Listen, I think
you could be slamming the door right here.
I'm going with Fairview. I think they can do it. Man, that Liberty Creek schedule is bad.
Atrocious.
And I love Coach.
I shouldn't say that. That's not fair.
It's pretty bad. I love Coach Alexander. It's their region. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not good. So I'm going with Fairview, but I think it is a great game.
Well, and it's also part of the problem with the regions because it's 6 classifications.
Right. I'm just wondering if we don't come up with a formula like this is another conversation. So you've got Liberty Creek. I've got Fairview.
I heard it. They've got it on record.
Maybe the top 2 automatically make it, and then it's all based on strength of schedule. You know, want some kind of formula, and maybe you could even get 5 teams out of your region, but you might get 2.
I'd be all for that.
That might be cool.
Yeah, I'd be all for that.
I don't.
You've got teams with losing records.
Right.
You got 1-win teams in some.
They don't want to play.
No.
In this case, these teams
and
want to play.
sometimes that happens in East Tennessee. I remember one year, I think it was Cott County, had 1 win, and you know what their reward was? To go to Alcoa. They're like, we're not doing it. They canceled. So then Alcoa doesn't get a playoff game. Anyways.
Not good.
Not good.
Hey, look, let's do 3A. We got 1 team in at Fairview, so let's don't spend a ton of time on this one.
Okay.
Let's look at Fairview's part of the bracket. So Fairview,
Yep.
if they win, just look at their part of the bracket, and then we'll go from there. So they got Maplewood, White House. So really, the winner of Fairview Liberty Creek can win a couple.
Yes. Well, we know White House Heritage is going to beat Maplewood.
That's
right
a fact.
below them. That's the region. That's the number 1 versus the 4. Then it depends on which one of us is right, either Liberty Creek or Fairview.
Right.
And then I think, unfortunately, that's White House. I think that's Liberty Creek. You think it's Fairview. Either way, I think White House Heritage beats the winner of them. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Sycamore beats Stratford. Is this how you want to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. East Nashville beats Cheatham County unmercifully. East Nashville beats Sycamore. And then East Nashville defeats White House Heritage to go to the semis.
So you've got East Nashville, and give me the other 3 semifinalists. I mean, let's go ahead and write Alcoa.
Okay,
man.
down here.
Alcoa on the top.
Yeah, where are they? They're on the Sequatchie Water. Where is that? Okay. I'll tell you who the other finalist is. Giles.
Alcoa, Giles, East Nashville. Who you got on the bottom there? Starting with Westview.
Westview's going to go all the way to the quarters. They're going to hit Sheffield. They literally might break the scoreboard on that game. There will be 0. That's who scored. Westview's who threw the 8 touchdown passes this weekend. They literally might break the scoreboard on that. And I'm telling you, most people think Sheffield. I think Westview wins.
So finalist, I'm going to say Alcoa East. Alcoa wins it.
I think you're right, except I think this year it's Alcoa, Westview. Alcoa wins, and then I don't know if you saw that they're going up to 4A next year. So this is it in 5A. I mean in 3A.
Well, everybody's tired of them anyway.
That's right.
All right, let's go to 5A. Let's spend a little more time on this. Let's find
Okay.
this on the brackets here. So if you take a look, we have both agreed that Page and Beach are going to be the semi, and Page is going to end up in the final. Correct?
Yes.
Let's talk about how we get there. In my opinion, Centennial and Nolensville, they're going to end their seasons against Page, which nothing wrong with that. I think they win until they face Page. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So you've got the Patriots in the final.
Patriots in the final.
And then the top part of that bracket, what are you seeing?
Well, there's East Hamilton. Come on, what are we talking about here? Oak Ridge. That's the one that they're a 1 seed. Just speaks a lot about East Tennessee right now. West. It's going to come down to the winner of West and Powell. A lot of people think this is the year Powell does it. I don't think so. I think West gets him again, and I think it ends up being a rematch of last year. We all remember that one, West and Page. I think the Page Patriots, in their 4th try, get their gold ball.
I totally agree with what you just said. And here's what I'm going to go one step further. Page is going to win double digits.
I think so too.
They're better.
They're better.
I mean, anything can happen with injuries and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
it's their year.
Assuming we stay relatively healthy. The defense is too good. That offense is good. I'm telling you, man, I don't. We talked about it Saturday on the radio. Coach, not that there was anything wrong before, but you can always get better, right? If you can go, you did it as a coach. If you can go out and get good quality, he's got Craig Hockerman helping him. He's got Scott Wells helping. He's boosted what was already a good staff, or bolstered what was already a good staff. This Page team, they control their own destiny. 5A state champs.
Agreed. 6A, I'm going to go say what I basically said with 5A, except with Independence. We hope we're wrong on that. I think in the 6A, you're going to see Franklin lose to Ravenwood in round 2, so Ravenwood's going to put them out. You're going to see Brentwood lose to Ravenwood in the quarters. So I'd like to see Indy beat Stewart's Creek, and then we all beat each other. And
That'd
what
be
can
pretty
you do?
cool, wouldn't it?
So I think it's going to be Ravenwood coming out. I think you would agree with that. Who else you like there? Who's the other semifinalist?
A lot of people say Collierville. A lot of people say Germantown. I'm Bartlett. I'm not buying any of it, man. And poor. I feel so sorry for. I do. I shouldn't say it like that. happy for Dixon County. They're kind of like our cousins over there, right?
We like Dixon.
Yeah. Jay Palace and Coach
Great guy.
Thompson. Man, they finished fourth. They get to travel to Houston for the round one. Okay, anyways, that's not what you asked. A lot of people are tooting the Collierville horn and the Germantown horn. I don't believe it. I think Houston comes out of there again. I think it's Ravenwood, Houston. Ravenwood has to go to Houston. That's going to be a slobber knocker. So I'm saying I'm going on the Maryville, right? It's going to be Maryville and Oakland, Ravenwood and Houston.
I agree with you.
By the way, a little nugget, just a little bonus. Number 4 Blackman will upset number 1 Green Hill in the first round. But then they're going to get beat by Riverdale, who then is going to get beat by Oakland.
So I've got the same semis as you. I think this is where we're going to be different. We're both going to say Ravenwood's going to win it. I think they play Maryville in the final. I believe you think it's Oakland.
I believe it's Ravenwood, Oakland, Part 2 in Chattanooga on Saturday night at 7 o'clock in Finley Stadium. Is that it?
That's it.
For all the marbles.
I hope you're right, because I'm going to also say this. If they play again, we get 2 champions, 2 double-digit winning champions. I think Oakland was at home. I think Ravenwood thought they could win. I'm not saying that at all. But Oakland does have this mystique about them.
Yeah.
Where you're going, Ravenwood's better.
Well, and he wouldn't say
They're
it.
better.
He wouldn't say it, but he had a region championship game the following week against Brentwood that he had to worry about. I don't think he showed everything in the Oakland game. I really don't. I don't think he showed everything in the Brentwood game because the game didn't dictate it. And maybe Oakland didn't either because they had a big game against Riverdale the next week. But I think I would love to know. I think if he were off the record, I know on the record he'd say we don't care, we just want to get there. I think Coach Hester would like, they already played Oakland. I think he'd like another shot. I mean, he beat them, but I think he'd like another shot at Maryville. I think he'd like to play them he's got to get there.
Well, there's history there.
There's history, yeah.
In 14 and 15, they swapped titles.
That's
This would
right.
be the rubber match.
He'd like to be,
Well, they played with.
GQ was
That's
the
right.
coach
That's
too,
right.
But
So it's 2-1.
2-1.
I hope it's Oakland.
I do too.
Be careful what you wish for, right? But think about this. If it happens like we think it's going to happen, we're getting gold balls in 5 and 6A and going 30-0.
Be unbelievable.
And Dr. Vaden, who said to Coach Hester, let's do a fundraiser, scrimmage exhibition. Don't think that's allowed.
With who?
With
Okay.
Page.
After the game? I mean, after the Blue Cross Bowl?
Yeah.
I think that'd be great. I don't know if the basketball coaches would. Bill Marbut will have a meltdown. You know, that's when the TACA games played.
Tate, thanks for being here as always. Appreciate your knowledge on the playoffs. I'm feeling good about it.
There's another number 1 that goes down too, if you want to know that one.
Who's that one?
Clarksville goes down in the first round to number 4 Germantown. Thanks for playing, boys.
Paper Lions.
Yes.
You got to give West Tennessee credit now. It's pretty strong right now.
You know, a lot of people talking about how a lot of the regions are down. They are, but you look in the 6A, the 5A and the 6A semifinalists, man, if we're right, those are 8 quality teams.
8
man.
quality teams.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, man.
Can't wait to talk next week.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.